In The Witcher 3, Gaunter O'Dimm is a huge mystery. He's one of, if not the most ominous characters in the entire world of The Witcher, including the books too. O'Dimm is capable of a plethora of things, namely, stopping time with the clap of his hands and extracting souls with ease upon filling a contract. But at the end of The Witcher 3, he disappeared forever, right? Well, no. And I think if you've actually played the expansion, you would know that too. And what I'm referring to is Gaunter saying that he will be back himself. And just to jog your memory if you don't remember this, I'm going to play that for you just now. And it's that last part right there that I take particular interest in. Gaunter O'Dimm, as all-knowing as he is, or as all-knowing as he can get really, probably knows that Geralt isn't going to be on the path longer. So, who can he be referring to here? I definitely have my answer for that question, but you guys may not, so let me take this time to convince you. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you guys to consider subscribing and liking the video if you enjoy the video, as it really supports the channel. We also have a Discord where we discuss all things Witcher, and it has been growing of late, so it'd be really great to have you there. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video topic. The first time we actually meet O'Dimm is very early in the game when we're looking for Yennefer in the quest Lilac and Gooseberries. As most people who pay attention to this cutscene will know, O'Dimm seems to know a little more than a mangy vagrant should. O'Dimm inevitably picks up a more major role in being the main antagonist of Hearts of Stone, the first DLC of The Witcher 3. This might be a controversial take to some, but he's by far the best antagonist I've ever seen in any installment of The Witcher. Gaunter O'Dimm takes great pleasure in tormenting people. Once upon a time, Gaunter O'Dimm actually cursed a woman for refusing him hospitality. He came to her door and begged for bread or a place to stay. The woman refused, and because of this, Gaunter O'Dimm horribly cursed her. That's because Gaunter O'Dimm knew that it was in her homeland customs to do so, and he deemed this refusal worthy punishment to curse her. It seems like he finds any excuse to torment people. O'Dimm once warned Geralt about learning his true name. O'Dimm stated that anyone who had learned his true name had either died or suffered a fate worse than that. I'm gonna use this to make my point that O'Dimm is quite literally evil incarnate. Why do I say this? The professor, who was the only person to get close to learning Gaunter O'Dimm's true name, came up multiple times with the name evil incarnate, and things like that. As soon as the professor got to this point in the investigation, O'Dimm paid him a visit. O'Dimm made him stand in a circle, and if the professor were to leave the circle, he would certainly die by O'Dimm's power. A fate worse than death, if you ask me. So I believe that the professor was correct in deducing that Gaunter was evil incarnate. I think that'll suffice as a short and brief explanation of what Gaunter O'Dimm is and what he's capable of. But now let's get into the actual topic of the video, which is why he's going to be in The Witcher 4. In the final quest of The Witcher 3, we can observe Gaunter O'Dimm trying to take Olgierd's soul after fulfilling the contract with him. Geralt does have the option to step in and save Olgierd, but he can only save Olgierd if he meets Shani beforehand and thereafter goes to see the professor. If Geralt does neither of these things, or simply doesn't want to help Olgierd, he will die and have his soul taken by O'Dimm. The only way you can actually save him is by learning from the professor that Gaunter can be beat. A man beat him before, a battle of wits, his own game I guess you could say. So Geralt does the same. Gaunter begs him to solve a riddle, and when he does, Gaunter says this, while burning away like a piece of paper. It's just like what I showed you guys at the start of the video. He says, "I can't be killed, I will be back." But let's go back to the professor for a moment. The professor stated that he was evil, right? Not as an evil like the descriptive term, like you are evil, more the literal sense of evil, the concept. He jests when Geralt suggests to get rid of O'Dimm, the Witcher way of course, but you can't kill evil. I find it likely that the professor is right, as I've stated throughout this video, and that Gaunter is definitely evil incarnate. Gaunter saying this line indicates a later return. Of course, it doesn't take a genius to realize that. Him saying this, probably knowing that Geralt won't be returning, is what makes me question if CDPR wanted us to think that this would be Ciri, or whoever we thought the new protagonist would be, that would encounter Gaunter O'Dimm next. Of course, I understand that this is a bit of a stretch, and it definitely isn't as strong as my next point for Gaunter being in The Witcher 4, but I wanted to include it anyway, because I wanted to see what you guys would think. But I genuinely do think that this is our first bit of evidence that we got that Gaunter will be returning in the future, and realistically, it doesn't make sense for it to not be Ciri. Why would they wait until, say, The Witcher 7, when it's the totally different next saga, to introduce Gaunter O'Dimm again? Why not do it straight away, with a familiar protagonist and a familiar antagonist? I'm not saying that Gaunter O'Dimm needs to immediately pop out on our screens the second we load up The Witcher 4, or that he even has has to be the main antagonist of the main story. For him to appear in some way or form, I think is definitely going to happen, whether it be in a DLC or main game. My next foothold for Gaunter O'Dimm being in The Witcher 4 is that in The Witcher 3 again, Hearts of Stone ending, even if we let Olgierd die, we still see a dialogue implying that he will be back. So it can't be that Gaunter was just salty and saying he's going to haunt Geralt. He's literally saying and confirming he will be back in both endings, even when he gets a sweet ending. If you guys want to see that dialogue, I'll play it for you.
Now, off to find another poor fool.
Haven't decided yet. But I do know if I ever have trouble collecting a debt, I shall turn to a witcher.
So yeah, as I mentioned before, I find it quite likely that O'Dimm is aware that Geralt is kind of trying to come off the path, or at least doesn't really know what he's doing still on it. I mean, Geralt kind of states this in Blood and Wine himself. I don't think O'Dimm was necessarily saying that he was going to go after Ciri, if he ever needed help again, that is. But if we think about it, why wouldn't he go for Ciri? Ciri is, after all, the daughter of he whom accomplished the impossible for O'Dimm 3 times in a row. To be honest, she's kind of the upgrade. She's a child of the Elder Blood, is a lot more attuned with magic, and honestly has insane potential in terms of sword fighting. One of the best displays we see of this is her fight with Caranthir, or her fights even in the books. Leo Bonnart was no easy victory, and he's an incredibly strong opponent. She had to use incredible battle IQ to win that fight, but she still won. Oh yeah, and she also soloed the Crones, so I don't know. Make of that what you want, I guess. She's a better candidate for O'Dimm's shenanigans than even Geralt is, and she's also the next down in the family tree. So I fear if O'Dimm has any debts to collect, he will be paying Ciri a visit in The Witcher 4. Very quickly, I wanted to talk about what Ciri could actually do if Gaunter O'Dimm is an antagonist in The Witcher 4, and how I see that playing out. And I'm just going to be totally honest with you, I don't think that Ciri's going to be able to do anything. Ciri is the Lady of Space and Time, and if she has full access to her powers, then maybe she can do something. But I doubt that's going to be the case, as I spoke about in this video. I think the only thing that could potentially stop O'Dimm is an opposite but equal force. Or, of course, what Geralt did. But that doesn't get rid of him forever, which is ultimately kind of what you want. But I digress. I don't think that Ciri has what it takes to take down O'Dimm just yet. But then again, we have the entirety of The Witcher 4 to learn what she's capable of now. Who knows, maybe her and a bunch of unicorns, all with the power of, well, the power, could jump O'Dimm and put him to his bed eternally. But until we see the live showdown, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. That'll just about wrap us up for this video though. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you do like the new cinematography in the videos, I did film all of this myself, and if you have any recommendations for how I can improve it, I'd be more than happy to take any advice on board. If you guys did enjoy, please let me know in the comments below and tell me if I have anything wrong or if you have any new insights. Make sure to subscribe for more Witcher content like this. It greatly supports the channel and the dream too. I hope you all have a great day and take care.